Good morning, as good as it can be on a day like this. Thursday on a kind of a bloody couple of days, obviously, as you already know if you're listening here. But let me jump on here and let me see, make sure everyone can see. On a kind of a looks like people can hear me over on X. Welcome. I'm going to kind of break this down. Market's been open for about 9 minutes. On not so great a day. On Nasdaq down. One second, I think I've got one of my things here. I think it's hitting me with some alarms every time I buy and sell. Anyway, my grid bots. But started out the day. Nasdaq down 0.7. Dow up 1.2, S&P down 0.14. So, but the real story, of course, and why we're all here is to come over and take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin absolutely getting killed here. I mean, obviously worse. Look, we dropped down and you're looking at the daily chart. Right now we're sitting at 64,127. Okay. Been down as low as you see here, the bottom of the chart, 61,894. And the reason that's important is because the 200-week moving average, which we will talk about. And but we bounced off of that, came down, and here we are at 64,127. Officially, we're down 4.1% for the day. Ethereum, we have 1,786, 1786. If you're counting in years, that was 10 years after the revolution or the Constitution. Anyway, down 4.5%. XRP, $1.18.2, officially down 4%. Solana, $70.41, officially down 6%. Crazy. Hey, I'm in Heine Coin, GM. Good morning, Mr. Heine, the founder of the Heine Coin, the Heine community. Great show today over on X at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, 7 days a week, man. Little over 1 year old community doing great things out here. Good to see you, man. Good to see you on a horrible day. I'll tell you, talk about communities. When do you need to be a member of a community? Well, probably no more so than now, where stuff's really going. I see Scott as well. He's the other big leader over there in the Heine community. Does the show every day. Scott, appreciate both of you guys coming in from YouTube. Helps out a lot with my algorithm because I'm new over there. I've been here on X doing my thing, Twitter doing my thing forever. Like 38,000 followers, but over on YouTube, I'm a little over 100. I haven't actually checked because I'm just throwing it out there, hoping some people are listening in and joining. A lot of been seeing a lot of support, but yeah, great show today, Scott. Good stuff talking about the market. And speaking of the Heine community and these other communities, maybe these meme coin communities you can get into, different groups. You need them. It's good in times like this if you can talk to someone who's been there before. Because look, we've been going down for a few days now. We've been going down for a few weeks, really. But yesterday was a really drastic drop, right? I mean, look, we went from 74.7. Look at that. If you look at the 1 day, we were at 74.7 this time yesterday, roughly. And now dropped all the way down to, oh, no, sorry. What am I looking at? Jeez, it's like that seemed a little drastic. We weren't that high. Yeah, we were 60, 66, let's call it 67 yesterday. We dropped all the way to 62, basically, a little under 62. Hey, Artie, GM, another longtime friend from X over here joining me. I see a lot of people live on X. Appreciate you guys. Bad day. Just talking about community and saying it's good to have a little bit of support when on times like this, because it's getting yesterday. You saw me laughing, Monday, Tuesday. I was actually laughing, joking around. buying the dip, making money on my grid bots. And then we had, yesterday was a real bad day. It was $7,000 drop. Yesterday was when it started to get a little scary, when you really started to see real fear and maybe feel some real fear. So long term, we're fine, but I'm now hearing 40,000, 20,000 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, it's a Ponzi scheme, going out of business. All this stuff. So it's good to have community, man, and glad you could be here. Look, I remember the few times I've been here for 15 years. So trust me, I've had some gut wrenching drops and bear markets and just horrible. Anyway, that's where we're at. Let's look, the important number for me, and we'll talk about, is 62,000. 62,000 is the 200-week moving average. That's really what separates a bear trend, bear market from just gut wrenching really bad. And it usually marks a bottom. So let's, anyway, that's where we're at. Take a quick look at obviously even our Ankita coin came down a little bit. We were holding pretty strong at 115, then this massive drop. And we had one big seller, it looked like, one early seller dropped us down to about 70, let's look here. Yeah, about 73,000 and some change. And then, of course, the people who supported getting in, buying back. That's, of course, Green Man Reports, our guy we've been supporting. I noticed, and a couple others. Notice Alex getting ready to do a creator coin, very much following what I was just on talking to him. That's why I was a little late starting this stream. Wanted me to help support him, which I will. But obviously, I told him we're already kind of doing this with Ankita. Basically, a great creator. And he's creating content. Alex going to be out there doing some streaming, gaming, stuff like that. Easy or Jason AI Williams launched a hot sauce coin last night. Let me see how it's doing. Looks like it's about $255,000. I'm looking on a different screen than you're seeing here. 256,000. Anyway, stuff happening. But back up to 84,000. I mean, 84,000. It just shows, listen, Rome wasn't built in the day, right? We're supporting this guy, got great content. Ankita, UNCKITA. You can check my tweets and stuff for the CA and stuff if you want to look into it. But listen, we're here for the long term, and so is he. But now I'm seeing other people maybe following this model. Maybe it'll be good, but got to have the right content. People are here. He's been here for 2 years, has a lot of big followers outside of the crypto world. He's got 5% locked up for a year. He's just trying to grind out some creator fees to pay for his family and pay for his AI, and maybe pay for, he's a one-man band out there killing it. So anyway, good stuff, Scott. Loved your space here today. We'll probably talk more on Kita on my space coming up, the GM morning show. But fear and greed at 12. I saw a joke. Someone's like, wow, it's at 12. I thought it was going to be at 1 or 2. And that's what it feels like. So I thought that was funny, and no doubt, right? I mean, extreme fear is nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, you would think by reading the timeline we were 1 or 2. Maybe we'll get there. I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was a good joke. And listen, what have I been saying? What was my definitive thesis yesterday? Sorry about this crappy green screen. I've got to, I was going to stream from my office. Got a nice office. We're on a country club right on one of the greens with nice mountains behind us. I was planning on streaming there, so I don't have a great setup here in my basement here, but I am going to order some new stuff. Just haven't taken the time, so apologize. In fact, I'm going to kill my picture. Kill my damn picture because the screen's a little funky today. Anyway, look, my definitive thesis is the money's going to AI. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, right? But the big thing, the reason we're bleeding out right now is money's going to AI. Michael Saylor yesterday said capital markets are funding the AI build out at historic scale, $400 billion over 6 months. That's not valuation. That's what's actually being raised, right? Bitcoin's ETFs have seen a $4 billion outflow since May 14th, pressuring BTC. This is capital rotation, not a Bitcoin impairment. And sums it up with volatility creates opportunity. Amen. That's what we've been saying. That's what I've been saying for a long time. And that was my thesis yesterday. People are coming out at him, calling it a Ponzi scheme. Here I'm seeing in the comments, you're the worst thing ever to happen to Bitcoin. No, listen, you're not gonna have his vision and pull off what he's pulled without having some haters. But I don't think he's bad for Bitcoin. I think he's great, and I don't think Bitcoin would be near as high if it wasn't for him. And he sped it up if nothing else. Anyway, what he's saying is this is just capital rotation, right? That's the reality. Bitcoin, the U.S. government didn't quit printing money. Bitcoin didn't start printing anymore. Everything is still in place for the long term, right? Everything we're looking at is short-term pain. It may get worse, maybe not. I'm not going to start worrying about 58,000, 53,000, 49,000. I'm not even going to start worrying about that until we definitively break below the close below, maybe even on the weekly chart, close below the, but certainly the daily chart, close between the 200-week moving average of 62. Okay. And even then, I'm not going to panic, but I'm not even going to start talking anything less because that's historically, and I'll show you some of the stats here, but that's where I'm at. Okay. I'm not going to start worrying about all this other stuff till that happens. Steph, who is the Heine Coin community TA guy, he said on Scott's show today, he said, look, I'm just hoping we can get through tomorrow, low volume Friday, get through the weekend. Don't even care if we go up, if we can just kind of hold these levels. He'd be happy. And I second that, right? I'm totally cool with that. But anyway, Michael Saylor basically agrees with me. It's just set to rotation, not a big deal. Okay, it was interesting. Yesterday there was a house, for those of you that, and like I say, the war is just kind of becoming convoluted. It's definitely dragging us down. It's not the main factor here though, but it is a factor, and it could help turn things around a little bit. But basically, the House of Representatives voted down his ability to limit Trump's war powers. Four Republicans joined. It's meaningless because they have to have the Senate too, but it is a slap in the face, and it is probably not good. Anyway, I'll read his stuff. You do what you want with it. Yesterday, in a meaningless vote, the House vetoed 4 bad Republicans and all of the Democrats to limit my war powers right in the middle of my final negotiations to end the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Who would do such an unpatriotic thing? They know where the negotiations stand. The Democrats are fueled by Trump derangement syndrome. They would rather have our company fail than give me another of many victories. The 4 Republicans, that's the whole other story. They're grandstanders. They should be ashamed of themselves. MAGA President DJT. So anyway, yeah, this is the problem. Iran wisely is watching America. They think they can outlast America's appetite for the war. And we're paying high gas and all this. I get it. But this, so they think that Trump's somewhat limited, and he is, but a little bit, not totally. But, and that's why they're being very careful to make defensive strikes and stuff, and downplaying what's going on. The last couple of days, we've had some serious attacks coming back from Iran, and basically those countries and other people start doing it. But he seems to be, people are postulating that unless American gets killed, he's not going to break the ceasefire and whatever. But we'll see, right? This kind of stuff, don't think Trump doesn't have some leeway and things like that, because a lot of these things aren't set in stone, right? For number one, he can claim this, he can claim that, just like he did with the tariffs, right? You can drag this shit on for weeks or for months. He only needs a few weeks to a few months to win the war. So don't think he can't do whatever's necessary, and he won't. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. It's just interesting. The war has become kind of a quagmire. Goldman Sachs partnered with Apex Group and Archax to launch a tokenized real estate fund, bringing traditional property investments into the blockchain rails. Big blockchain crypto, Bitcoin's not going away, right? It just isn't. Okay, this is a post by the Wolf of Wall Street, our guy Scott Melker. Bitcoin has officially revisited the 200 MA moving average after breaking down. We literally dipped below it yesterday. After breaking down from the 50, when it was risen from 55K. Okay, anyway, it is just this is important to understand. It is only traded below it for one stretch in history. I think it's dropped below in his 16 years of Bitcoin. It's only dropped below the 200-week moving average 4 times. Okay, the only time it stayed down there was June 2022 to March 2023, less than a year. Every other time it stayed there or bounced off it. So we believe before 2022, we believed it wasn't possible to stay below that. But it did for almost a year. So that was gut-wrenching. But the other 3 times, it's marked the bottom. And this may be the bottom, right? This may be the bottom. We literally dropped below. We've dropped below. Let's look back at Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, Steph. Hey, I was just talking about you, man. You know, in Chinese, I always, Chinese has all kinds of sayings, right? Thousands of years before we had them. But they always say, Shuo Cao Cao, Cao Cao, Zhou Dao. Speak of the devil and the devil shows up, which obviously is the same saying we have. But theirs is about 4,000 years old. But yeah, we were just talking about you, Steph, and your TA today. Give this man a follow. It's Steph.Hiney, HINEY.soul. Follow this man on X. He's starting a trading group. It's like $20 for the next 3 months. But anyway, I survived. I'm not thriving because I don't have a bunch of dry powder, but I am buying some more, and it's motivating me for sure. But look, we dropped below. I don't know exactly where it is. I'm just going to say it's 62,000. We either touched, maybe even dropped below the 200-week moving average. So that's where I think it gets serious. But yeah, once we drop below there, then we can talk. You know, then we can start talking about lower. Until that happens, though, I'm not really going to freak out. Anyway, but we could. We just dipped below it this morning. When we close above it, below it, definitive. Let's look at lower levels. And hey, we got a little lower even than we did a few months ago, right? But this might be the bottom, might not. But you know, we have these things now. Like I say, lots of money going over to these IPOs and stuff, but it's not going to stay there forever, right? They're going to get in, they're going to get their money, and it's going to come down. Same thing I told you guys, or at least my theory, when gold and silver, remember, it was crazy. Yeah, lines, people stand in the line in Australia, people stand in line in Dubai trying to buy silver and gold, blah, blah. I said, hey, maybe that was back then. Bitcoin was in the low 60s, mid 60s. I'm like, hey, might be a good time to buy Bitcoin. And it was. Bitcoin went up, gold's done nothing, silver done nothing but come down. Don't buy the tops, right? And sector rotation's a healthy thing. Doesn't change the long-term thesis. Man, I better start talking fast. Yeah, shout out to the New York Jets. Here's Gary V. I guess his plane bought expensive tickets. Plane got delayed. They couldn't get there. He said he doesn't care. Yeah, we've been talking about Gary and NFTs, but it's crazy, man. This made me happy to watch. So shout out to the Jets. I think Scott's a Jets fan as well. I don't know what I am. I grew up a Rams fan because we had season tickets. Then they went to St. Louis and came back. I'm not that big of a fan of any football team right now. But anyway, shout out to the Jets. It's cool. I love how passionate Gary V is, man. 55% chance, according to Kalshi, that we hit 50 before 100. I'll take that counter bet. It's possible. And it is probably a coin toss now. I'd bet otherwise, but could happen. Good. I'm just going to buy more if I can. Coinbase launches SpaceX perps futures for traders outside. Hype's already got them and stuff. You can start playing SpaceX now. But I think the valuation's pretty high, a couple trillion, so I'm not going to mess with it. Arthur Hayes, who I talk about a lot, smart guy in the space. Arthur Hayes dumped all his hype and near and totally, those tanked like 10 and 20% respectively. He said higher energy. He basically did the sell in May, walk away. He's going to write a thing on it, but he basically said high energy prices due to war and inventory restocking. Here it is again. Agrees with me. 3 mega AI APOs between now and then, and also stuff with the election. But basically, he did the sell. He did the classic sell in May, walk away. Man, not sounding so bad right now, is it? I kind of advise you against it. Charles Hoskinson. Now look, this guy up here, Invest Answer, probably my favorite YouTuber, right? probably the most alpha drop of anyone here is this Invest Answer guy. And he's been, Charles Hoskinson came out. I've been out of Cardano for about 5 years. I love Charles, don't get me wrong. And I love what he's doing. I even think Cardano's a good blockchain. Just never got adoption, right? And just kind of became, just kind of became an academic experiment, right? And this guy, Invest Answer, started calling him out, and Charles came at him hard. And he basically said, hope the Cardano army is doing okay. I spent 6 years warning you about this fella. My goal was to always look out for retail investors, stay strong out there. He completed ranches, hospitals, Lambos, Blackhawks, private jets, yet to be completed, all the stuff he's doing. So basically, Charles came on and said, guys, I don't know what to do. Think things are going to get worse. My hands are tied. Basically, I don't know what I can do. I'm taking a vacation. So, yeah, I think Invest Answer guy took it personally because he came at him hard. But I've been saying the numbers just aren't there, right? It's got billions of dollars in valuation, and it's doing piddling amount of. And I talked to some devs early on. They said it was hard to work with, blah, blah, blah. So whatever. Let's look at Cardano. I've been out for a while. I still like it. I really like Charles. Been on a lot of spaces with him. I like Charles. Don't get me wrong. And he made a lot of that money through his ADA. It had to have taken a bigger hit on that. Had to have, right? Yeah, it's down 12.2%. Of course it's going to be hit worse than everything else. That's some pretty sobering stuff. But he tried to do some stuff. He tried to get to buy Bitcoin, a few different things. He's just basically saying his hands are tied. But anyway, crazy to think going back all those years with all the potential, and same with Polkadot. Shit, I thought Gavin Wood and Polkadot. I thought Polkadot was going to be the real ETH killer. And Quantum 5652, longtime friend from X, also coming at me here, said, yeah, Cardano was screwed by the Cardano. Feel sorry for Charles. I do too. Yeah, that's what happens, right? You get, it's hard to govern this stuff. Anyway, got to wrap this up. But yeah, I do too. Jobless claims higher than expected. We've got, largest ever in 6 years, 10.8 billion. Largest loss, Michael Saylor. He'll be fine. I love that guy. I think he'll be good. Look, 1.72 billion liquidated in 24 hours. 1.49 were longs. Don't play with leverage, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Trump's downplaying, targeting of all the bombing and stuff, saying they were slightly provoked. But listen, he's limited, but he's not gonna. Don't overestimate him. Kraken's gonna tokenize their IPO access via X stocks. And listen, we'll take one last look at Bitcoin. Feel free to join the conversation. Yeah, Heinecoin, Nix, man, they did it, man. Gary V, crazy out of his mind, even though he couldn't get there and couldn't use his tickets. 64, 239. Let's look at it one more time. Let's look at it on the hourly. Yeah, it's doing a little better, right? Hey, shitty day, but doesn't change anything long term. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Touch some grass. Don't look. Maybe tequila, maybe Thursday tequila, and Thursday's a good match. But just, hey, we'll be fine long term.